Does heaven really exist? Where is heaven? By Xuefeng. The universe is scientific, and naturally it is also mathematical. Anything that doesn't conform to scientific principles is either fantasy or mere wishful thinking. Assumptions based on personal imagination do not align with the scientific principles. The core of scientific principles is fact. Anything that truly exists conforms to scientific principles. Even if something is not directly visible but can be logically deduced, it still conforms to scientific principles. So, does heaven really exist? It's simple if it can be observed in reality, or if it can be deduced through logical reasoning, then, without a doubt, heaven exists. No individual's description of heaven is credible unless many people have witnessed the sense of heaven themselves, and their experiences can be repeatedly verified. I once described the 1,000-year world of heaven, but since it was only my personal depiction, it could not be trusted as evidence. However, when I copied the 1,000-year world here on Earth, and over 100 people not only saw it, but also lived in it and experienced it firsthand, then the existence of the 1,000-year world of heaven should be acknowledged. Even if it appears a bit rough, it is nevertheless a manifestation of the heavenly 1,000-year world on earth. If the facts are right in front of you and you still refuse to acknowledge them, then you are simply ignoring reality and lost in illusion and delusion. Everyone is familiar with the two-dimensional coordinate system, which has 4 quadrants, each with different properties. For example, the first quadrant contains all positives, while the third quadrant contains all negatives. If we compare the third quadrant to hell, then the first quadrant would represent heaven. However, the space in which life exists is not a two-dimensional Cartesian system, but a three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system, also known as a complex surface coordinate system. This is because there exists a horizontal time-space dimension, and this horizontal time-space is invisible to humans who are confined within three-dimensional space. Although we cannot see it, it can be scientifically deduced. This is the imaginary axis, which extends vertically from the origin of the Cartesian plane, perpendicular both to our eyes and to the x and y axes. It's like looking at a chopstick. When the chopstick is perpendicular to your line of sight, you see only a point, not the actual object. By adding the imaginary axis to the Cartesian plane, the flat coordinate system becomes a three-dimensional Cartesian system, which contains 20 quadrants. Humanity lives only in one of these 20 quadrants. The other 19 quadrants represent dimensions and spaces that humanity has not yet fully understood, and among them is heaven. This is the scientific foundation for the existence of heaven.